At 57, Celine Dion, one of the greatest singers of all time, has built an enviable life, one in which her musical success is interspersed with deep personal pain. Born on March 30, 1968 in Charlemagne, a small town in Quebec, Canada, she was the youngest of 14 children, raised in poverty but surrounded by love. With her gifted voice and relentless determination, she became a global music icon, known for such timeless hits as My Heart Will Go On, The Power of Love, and Because You Loved Me. Married to her manager, René Angélil, from 1994 until his death in 2016, she is the mother of 3 children, René Charles Angélil, and twins Eddie and Nelson. Behind the stage, however, lies a story of intense trials, quiet tears, and a relentless search for meaning in both her career and her personal life. To better understand the person Celine Dion is, to look at the greatest sorrow that has shaped her. Her career's ups and downs, her burning ambitions, her love and marriage, her journey to motherhood, what her son René Charles has said about her grief, and ultimately, what it means to her and her fans. The greatest sorrow in Celine Dion's life was the loss of her beloved husband, René Angélil, in 2016, which, along with personal health challenges, forced her to face her darkest days. René was not only her partner, but also her manager, her mentor, and her greatest inspiration. They met when she was just 12, and René, then 38, saw her potential through a demo sent by her brother. Under his guidance, she went from a shy girl in Quebec to a global star. Their love story, though at times questioned because of their age gap, was a beautiful one, spanning more than 2 decades. When René was diagnosed with throat cancer in 1999, she put her career on hold to care for him, and although he recovered temporarily, the disease returned in 2013. In the last years of René's life, she watched her strong man grow weaker, and it broke her heart. She once shared that there were nights when René slept next to her. She would sit quietly in the dark, hold his hand and cry, praying for a miracle. When he died on January 14, 2016, just 2 days before his 74th birthday, she felt as if a part of her soul had been taken away. She said that day she held her children in the living room, trying to be strong for them, but that night she sat alone, looking at René's empty chair and crying herself to sleep, feeling as if her whole world had fallen apart. This sadness was deepened by her diagnosis of stiff person syndrome, SPS, a rare neurological disorder that she was diagnosed with in 2022. The disease causes her to have uncontrollable muscle spasms, severely affecting her ability to sing and perform, which had defined her identity for more than 4 decades. She once described SPS as living in a body that didn't belong to me, with seizures that left her unable to sing or even walk normally. The cancellation of concerts, including the Courage World Tour, was a huge blow to her psychologically. She shared in an interview that there were days when she stood in front of the mirror and couldn't sing a note, feeling like she had lost herself. One time, after a failed treatment session, she returned home, sat in her old recording studio where she had recorded her biggest hits, and cried, wondering if she would ever sing again. The pressure of maintaining a strong public image, while her heart ached for the loss of René and the disease, left her feeling lonely many times. Another sadness was the death of her brother, Daniel Dion, just 2 days after René passed away. Daniel, who also had throat cancer, was one of the people closest to her, and the successive losses made her feel like fate was testing her. She once said that at Daniel's funeral, she stood silently by the coffin, holding her mother's hand and crying, not only for her brother, but also for the feeling of helplessness in the face of uncontrollable loss. Those moments, when she had to face her pain one after another, shaped her into a resilient woman, but also left scars on her heart that would never heal. Celine Dion's career has been a long journey, one of great success, mixed with failures and relentless efforts that have left her in tears on more than one occasion. She began singing at a very young age, performing at her family's restaurant, Le Vieux Baril, in Charlemagne. At the age of 12, she recorded the song Ce n'était qu'un rêve, written by her mother and brother, and sent it to René Angélil. He was so moved by her voice that he decided to mortgage his house to finance her debut album, La Voix du Bon Dieu, released in 1981. The album quickly made her a star in Quebec, and at the age of 15, she won the World Popular Song Festival in Japan with the song Tellement j'ai d'amour pour toi. In her early years, she worked tirelessly, performing on stages big and small, and learning English to conquer the international market. She looks back with pride on those days, when she had to memorize English lyrics without understanding the meaning, but every time she saw the audience applauding, she knew she was on the right track. Her first major international success came with the 1990 album Unison, which featured hits like Where Does My Heart Beat Now? The album helped her break into the American market, and she quickly became one of the most beloved singers. In 1993, The Color of My Love, featuring the song The Power of Love, catapulted her to fame. The song, a cover of Laura Branigan, became iconic, and she was praised for her ability to convey intense emotion. She once shared that, to record this song, she spent hours in the studio, trying to find a different way to express it. And when she listened to the final recording, she burst into tears because she felt she had touched the heart of the song. The biggest milestone in her career was the song My Heart Will Go On, the theme song for the 1997 movie Titanic. Initially, she did not want to record this song because she felt it did not fit her style, but René convinced her to give it a try. The result was one of the biggest hits of all time, reaching #1 in more than 20 countries and earning her an Oscar for Best Original Song. She once said that when she performed this song for the first time at the Oscars, she was so nervous that she could barely sing, but when she saw René smiling from the audience, she found the strength to finish. After the show, she returned to her room and cried, not only from joy, but also from the pressure she had overcome. Her career continued to flourish with albums such as Falling Into You, Let's Talk About Love, and A New Day Has Come, along with residencies in Las Vegas. A New Day, at Caesar's Palace, which ran from 2003 to 2007, attracted more than 3 million viewers and grossed more than $400 million, making it one of the most successful shows in history. She recalled those days with emotion, when she performed 5 shows a week, despite health problems such as laryngitis. There were times when, after a show, she would return to her dressing room, hug René, and cry, not only from exhaustion, but also from gratitude for the audience that had always been there for her. But her career path was not always a bed of roses. One of her biggest failures was when she tried to release a French-language album in the late 1980s, but it did not meet her expectations internationally. This failure left her feeling depressed, wondering if she could ever move beyond the shadow of Quebec. One night, after receiving negative reviews from critics, she sat in the recording studio, looking at her songwriting sketches and crying, feeling like her dream was fading. But encouragement from René kept her going, and she decided to focus on learning English to conquer a larger market. Another difficulty was the pressure of maintaining her fame. As one of the biggest stars in the world, she was constantly scrutinized by the media, from her appearance to her personal life. There were times when she felt deeply hurt after reading articles criticizing her weight or her fashion style. She once said that there was a period when she was pregnant with René Charles, when she read an article calling her too skinny and unhealthy. These words made her question her worth many times, and one night she sat in her bedroom, looked in the mirror and cried, wondering if she was being true to herself. But it was in those moments that she found strength in René's love and her passion for music, which helped her overcome all challenges. The achievements that Celine Dion has always strived for are not only awards or fame, but also the desire to leave a legacy of music and humanity. Since the beginning of her career, she dreamed of becoming a singer who could touch the hearts of audiences around the world, telling stories of love, loss, and hope through her voice. She has said that every time she stands on stage, she not only sings, but also tries to convey her truest emotions so that the audience can feel her heart. The song Because You Loved Me, a tribute to René, is one of her proudest achievements because it is not only a hit, but also her promise to the man who changed her life. Another big goal of hers is to maintain a long-term career, despite health and age challenges. When she was diagnosed with SPS, she set her sights on returning to the stage, despite doctors warning her that this might not be possible. She worked tirelessly with physical therapists, voice therapists, and even tried experimental treatments to regain her ability to perform. She has said that every time she can sing a note without spasming, she feels like she has won a big battle. She hopes to one day complete the Courage World Tour, not only to repay the love of her fans, but also to prove that she is stronger than her illness. She also aspires to leave a legacy, especially through her charitable work. She is an ambassador for many organizations, from the